Thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Efrem Graham. Ahead today, a warning from Hezbollah to Israel. The near-daily attacks cannot continue, as Hezbollah says it will not disarm. And the president of France and the Palestinian president moving ahead with preparations for a Palestinian state. We're going to bring you those stories and the latest on the trapped Hamas terrorists in Gaza. A crackdown on Christianity in India, as an expanded law is now making it criminal for religious minorities to share their faith online and on their phones. And our Studio 5 conversation with multiple Grammy Award winner Lecrae about his new album, his film, about the label's musical history, and more as he takes a tour around the world. All those stories and more right now on CBN NewsWatch.
This is CBN NewsWatch.
Thank you so much for joining us. It is Wednesday, the 12th of November. We're going to begin this half hour in the Middle East, where the leader of Hezbollah is issuing a warning to Israel. Its attacks cannot continue. And an agreement between the United States and Israel on the Hamas terrorists holdup in tunnels in Gaza has hit a major snag. Paul Petit brings us the story. He's reporting now from Jerusalem.
The U.S. and Israel reached an agreement to free, then deport, some 200 Hamas terrorists still trapped in underground tunnels on the Israel-controlled side of the Gaza Strip. The problem now, no country has agreed yet to take in the terrorists.
Any decision that is made, it's made in partnership, in full collaboration with President Trump and his team. Of course, these meetings are ongoing. We are working together with the Trump administration under this plan every step of the way.
In an effort to maintain the ceasefire, the U.S. reportedly is planning to build a $500 million military facility along the Gaza-Israel border. Right now, the U.S. military presence is rather slim, with around 200 American soldiers. Plans for a Palestinian state continue to take shape. French President Emmanuel Macron met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in Paris with promises of a new committee to further the process.
This committee will be responsible for working on all legal, constitutional, institutional, and organizational aspects. It will contribute to drafting a new constitution, a project that President Abbas has presented to me, and will aim to finalize all the conditions necessary for the establishment of such a state of Palestine.
In southern Lebanon, the Hezbollah chief says the near-daily IDF strikes cannot continue. Israel has been pounding the region in an effort to rid the terror group of weapons and destroy militant infrastructure. Hezbollah has defied efforts by the Lebanese government to disarm. In Israel, thousands gathered for a funeral 11 years in the making. With music and eulogies, IDF soldier Hadar Golden was laid to rest.
Hadar.
Hadar, we waited for you for 11 years. That is a long time, a very long time. I truly have no explanation for how we did it, except that in every moment when we almost sank, there was someone in the family who would jump up and say, "But what would Hadar say?"
Lieutenant Golden was killed in Gaza in 2014. His remains finally returned as part of the ceasefire deal. Paul Petit, CBN News, Jerusalem.
And our CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is joining us now from Jerusalem. So, Chris, what's the reaction in Israel's government to this latest push for a Palestinian state?
Well, Efrem, we know what Israel has said in the recent past. Prime Minister Netanyahu said in September there'll be no Palestinian state, and he says he has a clear message for those leaders who are recognizing a Palestinian state after October 7th, and that they're rewarding terror with an enormous prize. And he also said that it's not going to happen. There'll be no Palestinian state west of the Jordan. However, President Macron and others, they're pushing for that. And actually, given the circumstances right now, it looks like there might be the possibility that some nations are going to want that Palestinian state to be in the land right now that's controlled by Hamas at 47% of Gaza on the other side of what's now the yellow line. And so that it appears that part of point 19 in President Trump's 20-point plan is the aspirations of Palestinian statehood. So there does seem to be some effort by the nations to go ahead and push for a Palestinian state. However, here in Israel, there's no taste for, especially after October 7th, for a state for the Palestinians.
Can a Palestinian state exist without Israel's support?
Well, it's hard to see that right now. The Knesset has voted recently against it, and the majority of Israelis are against it. But as I mentioned, could it be forced on Israel inside the yellow line right now? Most nations have really come out in support of a Palestinian state. And as I said, number 19, and this is what point 19 in President Trump's 20-point plan says, while the reconstruction of Gaza advances and the reform program of the Palestinian Authority is faithfully carried out, the conditions may finally be in place for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the aspirations of the Palestinian people. But this is a major, major dividing line, Ephraim, between Israel and all nations like France, or even this point 19 in President Trump's point plan. You know, they've been asking for reformation and for changes in the Palestinian Authority for decades, and it really hasn't happened. One major example is the pay-to-slay program, where the Palestinian pays millions of dollars per year to terrorists that have killed or wounded Israelis.
The head of Hezbollah is warning Israel its near daily strikes, quote, cannot continue. What could Hezbollah do?
Well, they say the ceasefires only applies to what's called south of the Litani River. That's the geographical barrier dividing southern and northern Lebanon. They say they won't disarm. They're going to increase, they hope, their arsenal, which is being supplied by Iran. They're also talking about actually manufacturing their own weapons. They say the arms are necessary for self-defense. So it remains to be seen. Now, part of the ceasefire agreement, Ephraim, was that Israel could hit Hezbollah for any offenses or violations of that ceasefire. And that's what they've been doing on a daily basis. Hezbollah operatives have been killed. Weapons caches have been hit in southern Lebanon, even north of the Litani River. So there seems to be coming to a breaking point between Hezbollah and Israel.
So is Hezbollah still refusing to disarm, and will Israel keep attacking until it does?
Well, I think Israel is committed to attacking that to make sure that Hezbollah doesn't get to be the kind of threat it was before October 7th and October 8th, when Hezbollah entered the war. Washington, on its case, wants to disarm Hezbollah, and they also want to stop the flow of funds from Iran to Hezbollah. For example, U.S. Treasury officials have been inside Lebanon, and they're saying that there's been more than $1 billion from Iran to Hezbollah since January. Now, we know Hezbollah is nothing like it was before October 7th and 8th. It's greatly weakened, but it has survived. And as we've said, Israel's been hitting Hezbollah daily since the ceasefire agreement, which does allow it to strike imminent threats. So this is coming to a head right now, Ephraim. And we also understand there might be a point where the IDF actually goes in full force to go ahead and disarm Hezbollah, since Lebanon or the Lebanese army don't seem to be able or willing to do it.
Do we know what will happen to these Hamas terrorists in the tunnels in Gaza if no country will take them in?
Well, it's certainly in flux right now in negotiations. Israel may insist that they surrender and that they not be allowed to roam freely, or just essentially keep them contained. Some have advocated maybe sealing the tunnels, but there could be a compromise deal where they actually will be allowed to escape but disarmed. But we'll see. It's very highly symbolic for both Hamas and Israel, Ephraim, and it's really may set a precedent for the future security and political decisions inside Gaza.
Our CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief, Chris Mitchell, we thank you so much for your insights today. Look forward to talking with you more in the days ahead this week. Coming up, digital persecution in the world's largest democracy, India, and an amended law now making it criminal for religious minorities to share their faith online and their phones. We're going to have that story for you when we come back. You're watching CBN NewsWatch. India's expanded anti-conversion law is making it harder for religious minorities to share their faith. The Freedom of Religion bill is specifically aimed at digital media. Supporters claim it protects religious rights and maintains social harmony. Critics say it stifles free speech and targets Christians. CBN Chief International Correspondent Gary Lane brings us this story.
In Uttarakhand State, India, an amended law has expanded restrictions against sharing one's faith in person to include digital communications, online and via phones. Global Christian Relief CEO Brian Orme believes this sets a precedent.
It is alarming, and I would say it's definitely one of the most restrictive laws we've seen. It's targeting anyone who speaks out on to convert or share their faith.
Christians in India are still trying to understand the law's implications.
It could mean anything from sharing your testimony, sharing a Bible verse, talking about your own faith could be seen as heralding yours better than others, and you could be arrested without any other proof beyond that.
Many pastors and evangelists are responding by removing their online content.
They're scrubbing their YouTube channels, they're pulling down social media, and many of them are even contemplating whether they need to leave the state.
The revised digital anti-conversion law prohibits acts that could be seen as enticing individuals to leave the Hindu faith.
It includes like any kind of like easy life that you're giving them, any kind of benefits whatsoever. So it could even be like giving a meal to someone who's hungry in the name of Christ, or even just giving a meal at all. But being a Christian organization could put you at risk completely for forced conversion.
Reportedly, individuals arrested and charged with violating the law are presumed guilty until proven innocent, rather than innocent until proven guilty. Orme suggests that makes it difficult for Christians to avoid conviction. Penalties range from fines of up to $12,000 to imprisonment of 3 years or even life. Additionally, the updated law prohibits claiming that one religion is superior to another and bans such digital content, labeling it propaganda. So what does that mean? Specifically, what is considered propaganda and who decides what is and isn't propaganda?
That is the whole problem, Gary. And the propaganda could be defined as, again, just sharing your faith. And it really kind of explicitly says touting one faith above the other. And so who's to say, who's the judge of what that looks like?
Although the law does not specifically mention Christians, it follows the pattern of other anti-conversion laws in India that have targeted Christians in an effort to suppress the explosive spread of the faith in India.
These types of rules are meant to squash those movements and allow Christians to, again, force them underground, force them to again, like not be in the public space and have a voice.
Currently, 12 Indian states have implemented strict anti-conversion laws. Orme predicts that Uttarakhand's amendment, extending the restrictions to digital media, is likely to set a precedent.
I do believe that the other anti-conversion states will take this on, and again, we'll probably see another level of rising persecution, unfortunately, across India.
Although sharing one's faith may be challenging for Christians in India, Orme remains confident that believers will continue to share the gospel message throughout the world's largest democracy.
I think the church is having to be so much more cautious, so much more aware, but there's still a bold thread that is moving forward to say that these laws will not stop us from worshiping and expressing our faith freely.
Increased persecution, often leading to greater church growth. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Still ahead, turning to the world of entertainment here at home, our Studio 5 conversation with the multi-Grammy award-winning rap star Lecrae on his new movie and his music label, as well as his tour around the world, right after this. Welcome back to CBN NewsWatch. Multi-Grammy award-winning artist Lecrae is hard at work this year. He dropped his 10th studio album. It's called Reconstruction. He released a film documenting his label's music journey. He collected another Dove Award for his shelf, and he is right now on a world tour. Take a look.
What's going on, everybody? This is Lecrae, and I am excited because we are about to embark on a journey about what it means to be unashamed.
We're in Nashville now, and not too long ago, you were in Nashville for the, I guess, release premiere of your documentary.
That's right.
Tell me about that and how long that process has been.
The documentary, the Unashamed documentary, it did win an award at the Nashville Film Festival, the Audience Choice Award. For years, people have heard me scream, I'm unashamed in songs, on tours, even books. But now, I want to unpack what that really means.
And this documentary chronicles our movement at Reach Records. And so we call it the Unashamed Movement. Romans 1:16, I'm unashamed of the gospel, it's the power of God. It starts literally from me being a 13-year-old dreaming about doing music to meeting Tripley, Tadashi, Andy Mineo, Sho Baraka, this whole movement that takes place. You get to see it from inception to what it's grown to be. So it's an amazing journey.
We're going brick for brick, yeah. We're going brick for brick, okay? We're going brick for brick.
Your latest project is Reconstruction. You're in the midst of the Reconstruction World Tour. What's it been like thus far? What's the tour like?
The tour's been amazing. So Africa gave me a lot of energy because they don't get to see me often. It's actually been over 10 years since the last time I did a tour there. So they were just itching, and that energy fueled me to come back to the States.
We here forever until they come get us. I'm building faith up from summer to winter. You pick the season, it really don't matter, cause all of them mine. I know I'm a winner.
How would you describe this album? This is your 10th?
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking, go back to 1 to now. How would you describe what's happened?
This is a mature man. This is a man who has a lot to offer, but I wanted to capture zeal because I think my younger audience has a lot of zeal. Sometimes it's just misguided, it's misdirected. And so instead of like using that zeal and passion to be destructive, I wanted them to be constructive. What can be reconstructed in your life? What can be transformed? What are the areas that you're passionate about? Because I think we see a lot of people, church hurt, we see a lot of drama, we see a lot of things that disappoint us as Christians. And I'm saying, okay, well, let's rebuild.
We're going brick for brick. We're going brick for brick. Stack it up, stack it up, stack it up.
I think you said from 2015 to 2020, you went through your own deconstruction, if you will.
Sure.
What happened?
Yeah, I'm coming from this broken family. I thought when I met Jesus, I was gonna walk into this like healthy, perfect family. I didn't know it was, oh, these are more broken people. And I blamed God because I was like, well, why did you do this to me? You know, I'm being hurt by your people. And, you know, I was disoriented. And so it took time for God to show me, A, these are broken people that I love just like you. And they don't always have it together, neither do you. And God helped me to see that, and it reorientated me and it reconstructed me.
A lot of the pain dealt with racism and unheard voices and not speaking out.
That's right.
Have things gotten better? Do you?
I think I wasn't prepared for people to push back on me so hard and to say, stop being political. And I was like, I'm not being political, I'm being biblical. Yeah. I'm just caring for the poor. I'm caring for the disenfranchised. This is all the marginalized. This is the people on the fringes that God cares about. And I think that's where the disappointment lied. And I have seen that politics and faith have gotten married in ways that I know God did not intend.
How are you feeling about what you're seeing play out in our world today, especially our country?
I think we've got to be reminded. There's nowhere in Scripture where you're going to see Jesus say, hey, this nation has to do this. There's everywhere in Scripture where it says, in that nation, my church has to do this. So what should we be looking like as a church? When everyone is fighting, we should be a picture of love. When everyone is at odds, we should be a picture of how to relieve that tension. And so, yes, there's chaos, and there will be, but God has his people, and I feel like we need to hold tight to his truth and to represent.
Stack it up, stack it up, stack it up.
Lecrae's new album, Reconstruction, is available wherever you stream your music, and he is on tour, coming to a city near you. Be sure and join us tonight for an all-new edition of Studio 5. We've got a look at the new holiday film, Unexpected Christmas, and we're talking to the actor Rico Ross and filmmaker Phil Thornton about that film. You can see the special edition of Studio 5 this evening on the CBN News Channel. It begins at 8 Eastern. You can also watch it on the CBN News app, and you can find it on YouTube. And Studio 5 has a podcast. It's called Conversations from Studio 5. It's your weekly destination for uplifting conversations with a strong focus on faith. This week, I aim to sit down and talk with Donald Lawrence. He's a recording artist, songwriter, choir master, vocal coach, and music producer. You can listen to the episode on your favorite podcast platform. Coming right back with an encouraging word for your Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Introducing a brand new way to start your morning. Get your daily quick start from CBN News. A quick read on the important news of the day delivered right to your inbox. Stay current on breaking news, politics, and entertainment. Discover how God is moving around the world and here at home. Plus, get exclusive stories and daily scripture encouragement just for you. Stay informed. Go to quickstart.news and subscribe today. Download the CBN News app. One place for all of your news. Breaking news alerts. Watch CBN News Channel Live. CBN News. Because truth matters. Get the CBN News app today.
Time now for your Wednesday word, and today's word is move. Remember this, faith without movement isn't faith. It's like looking at a final destination without taking the steps to get there. Today is the day to make a move, take action. What's the best thing that can happen, and why can't it happen for you, and why not now? Well, that is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. You can always find more of our programs on the CBN News channel. You can find them there at any time, as well as online. That is cbnnews.com. We'd love to know what you think about today's stories. You can email us, newswatch@cbn.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye and God bless.